Hey friends, in this video we are going to be talking about the letter Q. So before we get started, please make sure you have your FUNdations paper and a pencil because we will practice writing this letter later on. Now, when we're looking at our sound card, the first thing that you might notice is that there are a couple letters here. And this letter right here is the letter U. There's something really special about the letter Q. This letter U right here is always gonna come after the letter Q. So letter Q I've highlighted in green here. And the reason that you will always see a U after the letter Q is that honestly, Q doesn't want to be seen by itself. Q always wants to have its buddy U next to it. In English language, every word that we use has a U come after the Q. If it does not have a U that comes after the Q, it's a word that does not come from English. So when we are thinking about how we can spell words in English, whenever we use Q in green, we must always remember that there will be a U after it when we're writing words. But we are not going to be writing the letter U. We're only going to be focused on the letter Q today. So we're only going to be focused on writing these letters. We'll get to U another time. That's the first thing I wanted to draw your attention to. But the other thing that we can look at on our sound cards is that we always can look at the picture to give us hints as to how we pronounce those letters. So here we have a picture of a queen. And if I think about the first sound, the initial sound, the beginning sound of the word queen, 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 I can figure out that the letters Q-U make the qu sound, qu. So when we are practicing that, here's how we form our lips. Qu, qu, qu. Not qua. Don't make it a long just qu, qu, qu. You try. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now that we know how to pronounce the letter Q, when we read the sound card, we will say Q-U, queen, qu. Q-U, queen, qu. You try. Oh yeah, that sounded really good. Now let's look at some other words that begin with the letter Q and has its buddy U afterwards. So our first word that first picture that we're going to look at is of a question mark. We use this when we are asking a question in a sentence. And so everyone say Q-U, question, qu. One more time, Q-U, question, qu. Oh yeah. Now our next picture is a picture of a quarter. Everybody say Q, quarter, qu. So one more time, Q, quarter, qu. And our last picture that we have is a picture of a quilt. Everybody say Q, quilt, qu. Q, quilt, qu. Oh yeah, sounding really great. Now grab your pencil and your paper because we are going to practice writing the letter Q. Now, when we are writing our letters, it is always important to pay attention to the lines. So here we have our skyline. Then we have our plane line. Next we have our grass line. And finally we have our worm line. So when we are writing our capital letter Q, we are going to first point to the skyline, trace back, then down and around to the grass line, then around and back up to the skyline. Next, we make a tail. We gotta go all the way down. There we go. Oh yeah. Let's try it again. So point to the skyline. Trace back, then down and around to the grass line. And around back up to the skyline. Then make a tail. Let's do one more. Point to the skyline, trace back, then down, around to the grass line, and around back up to the skyline. Then make a tail. Whoa, that went past the line. Oh my goodness. Let's try it again. Whoop. There we go. Oh yeah, Q, Qu. Let's try our lowercase q now. And our lowercase q is a plain line letter. That means that it is going to start on the plain line. So first off, when we start on the plain line, we are going to point to the plain line, then trace back and go down to the grass line, round. Then go straight up to the plain line. Then trace back down to the worm line and give him a little tail. Whoop. Let's do another one. Point to the plain line, trace back and go down to the grass line, round. Then go straight up to the plain line, trace back down to the worm line, and make a little tail. Boop. Let's do one more. Point to the plain line, trace back and around to the grass line, go straight up to the plain line, trace back down, all the way down to the worm line, and give him a tail. Boop. Q, Qu. Q-U, Qu. Happy writing, friends!